Zach, I don't know if you saw the injury with John Tavares that happened during your game last night. I don't know if you saw the highlights, but if you did, just what's the reaction when you see a peer, a colleague like that in so much distress? That just was such a, I don't want to say strange, but almost scary situation. Just looking from it, from afar.
Yeah, it's terrifying. We were looking at that, a few of the guys in the changing area after the game, and um, it was scary for sure. I know everyone feels that way. It's got to be even tougher for the guys on Toronto to see that. Just mentally to finish the game when that happens early has got to be really tough. It was good to see him give the thumbs up on the stretcher, and I hope he's doing okay, and it's nothing too serious.
Dave?
Thank you for speaking with us, Zach. There was a lot of confusion about the scoring on the first goal last night. Did you feel like you got a piece of that? There were some replays that kind of suggested that you had.
I honestly wasn't too sure. If it was my stick hitting, who was it, Pullock, or if it was a puck. There was just kind of a lot going on and a lot of traffic. Um, I was joking to Tanger that I tipped it. I wasn't sure. Um, I wasn't expecting to get the goal, but it honestly doesn't really matter. Right now, I could have 0 points and be completely happy as long as we're winning. It's so much fun winning in playoffs, and um, I've had a lot of playoff experience, so not a lot, but it's my third or fourth year in the playoffs, and just that previous experience kind of not doing so well stinks. So just to have team success, these first couple games, last two games has been feeling really good.
Anna?
Zach, you guys have shown your ability to be able to respond when the Islanders have scored. You guys have scored kind of some quick response goals in game one, and especially the three later ones last night. Just what is it about this team's ability to respond? What's that mindset for you guys that allows you to do so?
I think just kind of throughout the year, there's been stretches where we've been down and we've come back, or we've gotten scored on, and I think just the line combinations, the personnel in the locker room, everyone knows that we're capable of scoring goals and capable of playing good defense that's going to lead to our offense. So there's times in games where the momentum shifts, and as a team, everybody on the bench gets pretty fired up, and there's not a whole lot of negativity. It's more guys holding each other accountable and trying to fire each other up to go out there and create a little spark. And whether it's the first line or the fourth line going out there having a good shift, you're going to set up the next line for an even better chance to score if that line doesn't.
Mike?
Hey, Zach, when things got a little crazy there and it turned into like a Royal Rumble, Coach Sullivan said after the game that he felt like he was impressed with the way that the players talked on the bench amongst themselves about what they wanted to do to respond. Can you just let us in a little bit? Like, what were some of the things that were said in that moment, and then in the hours since? Just what kind of things have been discussed about what to do if a similar situation occurs?
Yeah, just right off the top of my head, it just comes to Tanev. I know he was the first guy to start, being vocal, and he was just telling the boys, just relax, calm down, play a simple game. We got to just get pucks north and get in on the forecheck. Tang or two saying force them to defend in between periods, but it's just a crazy atmosphere, and just got to play the right way to drown out the crowd and limit the Islanders.
Seth?
Zach, this was the first game this series that you had all three of the big centers in there. I'll even include Teddy, all four centers there. What's the tactical effect or even the emotional effect when you have all four of those guys rolling, and no matter what line you have on there, you have someone that's more than competent enough to kind of handle the freight there. Just what's that feel like with all four of those guys in there fully able to go?
Definitely gives, I'm sure it gives Coach a lot of confidence. It gives the players a ton of confidence too. every line is very capable of scoring goals, and you know, can't really talk much further than that. I think, it's tough to play against when you have four lines like that, and that deep at the center position. It's good.
Last question, Mike DeFabo.
Hey, Zach, while it was great that you guys scored the 5 goals, you had to because they put up a decent, offensive number themselves. Just defensively, were there any things that were discussed in terms of things you'd like to do just a little bit better, clean up a little bit?
Yeah. One thing we talked about was just keeping pucks off the yellow. There's sometimes you have a little more time than you think, and you don't have to rush the play up. Especially when the wings aren't there on the walls. If we could kind of come out of the zone a little bit more controlled, not panic as much. And another big thing is, just areas at the blue line, their blue line and our blue line, making strong plays. If we're able to force them to go back 200 feet, we're going to be limiting them to come in on the forecheck, especially with that fourth line of theirs that has a heavy forecheck.